pleasure to have you here today sharing your story. We know it could be a little difficult and stuff like that, so if you need time to stop and take a breather, just let me know. And we'll stop rolling cameras and stuff, and so you can go ahead and get yourself together. Because I know it's going to be a real difficult time for you. So you just start.
Okay, I wanted to tell my story and share it. In 2001, my son, Darren, he was in an accident. I was in North Carolina. He was here in Philadelphia. The accident was on 29th and Columbia, Cecil B. Moore. He was trying to, I had came down earlier in life, like about 2 months ago, he told me he wanted to buy this motorcycle. I said, no man, you can't get that motorcycle. I don't want to see it on the street. You ain't got all your equipment and stuff, you know. And I was saying, no boy, you can't do this. So him being him and hard-headed at the time, he wanted to take it for a spin. And when he took the motorcycle out, he was riding down Cecil B. Moore. And as the buses come, you know, there's a bus, that's the 48, and then it's the 3. And one of those buses he was trying to avoid from hitting at the time. And he hit the bus and he shattered. I got a phone call from my daughter. It's about 12 o'clock at night. And I went to sleep, and you know that picture when Chris Tucker or Chris Rock turned into the billionaire?
I think it was Chris Rock.
Chris Rock? He turned into the billionaire. And that was the last thing I saw when he had gotten hit by the bus. And when I woke up, my phone was ringing, and it was my daughter. And she was telling me that my son, he's dead, Mom. And you know, at first I couldn't get a grip on it. And then I said, who you talking about? And she said, Mommy, Darren's dead. So I said, did you see him? You know, I mean, don't call me and tell me, did you see him? So once I got the phone number from one of the family members, and they told me that this was true, I didn't know exactly what to do. I didn't know how to cry. I went around in circles, though, I did, because I wanted to figure out how I was going to get here in Philadelphia. And so at the time I told my husband, we want to find a way to get there. We got to get these children together. 2 boys, his 2 brothers, they're younger, me and him. I didn't know how to get the clothes together, so I'm just going to basically say I totally went in the shop. I mean, nothing gave, it didn't look like nothing was coming together, so while I was throwing stuff together to make sure that we got something anyway, you know, we traveled here to Philadelphia from North Carolina, Greenville, and it was 8 long hours. 8 long hours. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how I was going to address the situation, because it was a tragedy. It was nothing like somebody harmed him or he harmed anybody. I got here that evening. I went to the morgue. It was closed once I realized it was a weekend. So I went around the family. A lot of them was doing a lot of crying and stuff. I just looked around and I couldn't feel anything, nothing. All I knew was that I was here and I was when I needed to see him. So I kept going over to Grandma's house, and she kept telling me that I had to have a certain amount of money in order to open up the ground. And I'm thinking, like, how I'm going to have all this money but nobody never told me this because I don't know, I never had to bury anybody. And in my immediate family, I called to Alabama. I called my uncle. He said, I'm on my way. He was coming to help me out, whatever, as far as getting my hand in there. Obviously, they must have didn't want it because she did everything on her own. I wanted to be able to buy something that he could be, mine could have been with him. So, oh, now that's
did you feel like some type of way because your in-laws didn't allow you to do something for Manny at that time? Like you wanted, like you said, you wanted to be a part of his, like you wanted to do something so he could take with him, like buy him something to wear or do something for the funeral arrangements, and you was like pushed out of that.
Yes, I felt that they took full control, like I wasn't his mom, or because he lived with them and she basically helped take care of him. I understand her reason, but she needed to realize he was still my child.
Right.
And she didn't, I called it he was being selfish.
Hmm.
Or she wanted the brownie points or something like that. I didn't do anything like react towards it. All I did was they didn't want us to sit in the funeral. They wanted me and my family to sit in the back. So I got there early and I put all my children on the front row along with me because I felt like y'all did everything, but I did the 16 hours with him. I raised them, and I mean I know him too.
You say 16 hours, you mean like in labor?
In labor.
Okay.
In labor, yes. He was my child.
Right.
They actually, like I was trying to say that they wouldn't let me know where he was at. I couldn't find him for a couple of days. I didn't know where the funeral was going to be at or anything. When I called, nobody gave me any information. It was, we'll call you back. They didn't feel as though I was worthy of it.
Right.
So after this, the service and stuff, when we got there, I was so in shock. I was greeting the people like, hey, hi, that joyous feeling, and I'm hugging everybody, and nobody's really saying, you okay, Audrey? Or it was nothing. It was always like somebody had a fart face, but my family was very good to me.
Mm-hmm.
After the service, and I had to come back home to Greenville, and I had to be again strong for those two boys because I didn't want them to cry.
Right.
I didn't want them to hurt in no type of way. I wanted them them being young. I think Manny was about 12 years older than them. So he died at the age of 20, and he left me 4 beautiful grandchildren. I got to come down here to see the two that was being born after he passed, so they would know their dad. But the other children, they didn't know, they knew him, whatnot. Again, it took me a long time, so what I did was I started really drinking. I was drinking their pain away, and I think that I drank so long because I would hear him calling me. And I know it's not the mother children, so I'm wondering, like, was the last name he called before he hit that bus, because you could see, you know, and like every child, they gonna run, they gonna call their mom. Any devastating situation, where's my mom? However, I don't know, I know for mine I would be the one. So I used to think of that all the time, and I would drink to not go to sleep so I wouldn't hear it. And then once I got comfortable with that, it was never nobody again saying, "Are you all right?" They like, "Yeah, everything's okay. You can come on with me. We're gonna go to the party. We're gonna have a couple of drinks." It was never no like, "Girl, come on, let's sit down and talk. And tell me how you feel, because you haven't vented yet."
Right.
So, actually, it's been some years since I came down here, but what I did was I forgave the grandmama.
What was like the time period it took you? So you went back to North Carolina at the funeral, and like what all the emotions was you experienced? I know you experienced the loss of your son, and then was you able to grieve? Did you feel though you was able to grieve properly, even though because like the grandparents like tried to take over the situation of the funeral and stuff, and you feel like you couldn't give a part of you? Like, was that part of you, like, the frustration and everything too? Or you was able to put that to the side and just
move on
and just grieve your son?
I felt like I was robbed of it, so I worked, and I tried to be the best mom for the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, if it was a pair of their underwear and they needed to be ironed, I'd be ironing their underwear. So I grieved in actions.
Right, okay.
I stayed busy. A lot of people kept saying, "You keep the smile on your face," and because I didn't want to show my other children that I wasn't strong for them. And they was very important to me. So within like the 5 years of everything going on, that went on before that, I actually had an opportunity to go back to school. So I went to college and showing the other children when you graduate how y'all can prosper in life, and you don't have to go exploit yourself. You can be a businessman or however. And which they did. They grew up to be very good young men and women. So I decided to do something for the family. And our Nana got sick. And that, as me saying our Nana, their mother. And I knew it was frustrating for them. So like on my vacation days from the college, I would come down here and relieve them. I would watch Nana, wash her hair, feed her, make sure she was comfortable, and this their mother.
Right.
You know, and they didn't see me as being, I'm going to come back and do this for them. They went on vacations, they went to Europe, Egypt, they was able to travel and trust that I was going to be able to take care of her. She had Alzheimer's. And when they got back, she was clean, neat, smelling good, hair washed, you know. And so I did it for years for them, for years. And now I have an opportunity to have connection with them. Because I had promised and I had vowed that I would never speak to them again. There was nothing that could get me to come back down here and socialize with them.
What made you be able to overcome that, like be able to come back and socialize with them? Like, now you mentioned that you started drinking. Was you still drinking when you came down here? Like what made you like, okay, I'm gonna come down there and socialize with you. I'm gonna take care of Nana.
One of the aunts, Tanya, she would call down for my daughter and talk with her, but she would talk to my daughter. She would never talk to me. And she was discussing to her, like, are we tired? Keisha's sick. Anna's sick. She was getting really frustrated with them. And I talked with my daughter, and I said, what do you want to do? She said, well, Mom, we can go down there and get Antonio and wait. You know, Keisha's sick. It was like 3 people that we were down here taking care of. And I got a good heart. And it just I couldn't sit and just stay angry with them. I had to stop. I wanted to stop. I didn't have to. I wanted to. I wanted to come help them. I wanted them to show them that I wasn't that old Audrey that they probably thought I was because my son passed. And that I blossomed. I'm not going to say I was gloating. I just wanted to be there for them. That's all I wanted. Just let you know y'all got to take the headache off. I got you. And I did that. I still drank, but I didn't drink as heavy. Okay. Because I was so motivated in North Carolina that I didn't have time.
Time to drink?
Right, time to drink or anything.
Okay. But did it help when you say you was hearing his voices when you go to sleep? Did the drinking help with that?
Yes. I couldn't hear nothing. By the time I woke up, it was getting ready to go to work and do this and do that and everything. So, but I knew by the nighttime, I was going to hear it when I started realizing I was hearing it. Right. So I would ask other children, did y'all hear that? And they were like, no, Mom, we ain't hear nothing. So I swear to God, that had to be me, you know, because I know his voice.
Now, do you still hear the voices or did it stop?
I don't hear it as much. Since I moved back from North Carolina to Philadelphia, I really don't hear it at all. I couldn't say what it was because I never had an opportunity to talk about it. But when I met you and I finally got an opportunity to talk, I felt like a relief. Somebody was really listening to me. Like somebody knew that if I cried, it wasn't just okay, it was me letting out those emotional feelings.
Right.
So I've been wrenching for a minute, for like the last month or two. I think we talked last month or something.
Right. That's why I want to bring up, like, I agree that you got a pretty good heart. Because, you know, we talked about this situation several times. And one part, I know you mentioned how you was worried about how the bus driver felt.
Oh, wow.
And the people that might have seen the accident, you know, like how they mental state is.
Yes.
You know, for you to worry about somebody else in that situation, you know, I got to take my hat off to you, you know. Mm-hmm. And I know you got to have a good heart to worry about what that bus driver is going through right now.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Thought about the people on the bus because on both buses, mm-hmm. It's like what's they going through? You know, what about if it was children on that bus? Right. You know, that can remember that, mm-hmm. And how that could have affected them. I worried about that. Yeah. But it did, and I still do in that because where I live at in Philadelphia is not too far from the accident, mm-hmm. And the same 2 buses I see. Right. So I'm wondering, like, did they get their job? Did they lose their job? You know, because mm-hmm. It wasn't their fault. Right. But how did they feel? Because some people got to be psychiatrists. They know he died because they didn't move. Right, right. So, what did you feel? Did you cry? Do you go through what I'm going through? Like I saw that little boy, you know. I seen that. And how long is it would take them to get over the same situation? Because they literally saw it. Right. I wasn't here. Mm. So I feel it because he's my son. But to see a tragedy,
Yeah, that is. You know, certain things it's like hard to just wipe from your mind. Like you could see an event and it could traumatize you for the rest of your life. Really. Certain things. So let me ask you, when did you know like you was the healing? You was like healing. I know you like never like get over what happened, but able like, I guess you say if you was in North Carolina you wasn't drinking as much because you was always busy.
Right.
So is it a thing where did you ever get to a place where you didn't have to be real busy or you didn't have to be drinking to be balanced, if I could say?
The only time I felt balance is like if I went to the meetings or something, or I had my Bible study. We get with a lot of things that they talk about that I know that's true, and I would just meditate on that. I meditated on how death is. He don't know nothing. He not feeling what I'm feeling. He all right.
Right.
It's me trying to get myself okay. So, like talking about it, I get emotional because I wish I was here to protect him. But you never can really actually get over it. You just focus on the good things and think about how good they was and those laughters and how he used to crack me up. He used to come in and he's funny. He's a comedian, you know. I think about that. I think of how much I knew he loved me.
Right.
I knew he did. And within myself, I just started, I didn't care about people, being honest. I didn't care what they did. Now I care if they okay. The tragedy that was here in Philly wasn't compared to the situations that was going on in North Carolina. So I started just putting myself in their shoes and consoling them. But I didn't console them like we going to the bar or we gonna go here.
Right.
I was consoling them like this is not gonna ever be okay, but I'm always here for you. And when they children's birthday come around and situations that can happen, they come. So I think my healing started with talking with them. My closure came with the grandmama and them after 5 years and how we deal with each other now. And I get phone calls from them. They need me to do something. I'm there. I'll go over and pop up on them. So those are all my closures. As far as like on the dates, like when of his death, I extremely, I don't feel it, but it just hits me. And then I have to ask myself, what day is the date? And then when I look at the date, I'm like, oh my goodness, and I'm crying. And see, I can wrench now.
Right.
Now I got my time. You know, I'm gonna have all the children. I gotta worry about their mom. They gotta take care of themselves now.
Right.
And his birthday's coming up on the 22nd of this month. And I'm just gonna make some baked macaroni and cheese, and I don't want no fried chicken. Something that he liked.
That was his favorite meal?
Baked macaroni and cheese. You gonna make me some baked macaroni and cheese, Mom? Yeah, I'm gonna make it.
How he wanted you to make it? How you make it for him?
I put the cheese he made. I use the whole chopped cheese, the square things. I don't use the shredded cheese. He like the cut up cheese. And I put the milk and the eggs, the old-fashioned way my mom used to make it. And he come over there, grab his big bowl, took half the pan. Because actually, he still stayed with his grandma while I was living here in Philadelphia. And I would make it. Every year, if it was 12 o'clock at night in the New Year's, and it was always our routine, 12:01 or 12 o'clock. No, it's 11:59. You should be on my phone. 11:59. He on the phone. I don't know where he be. He's on the phone. These are things that makes me happy. It makes me smile. And how I'm okay. But like when me and you talked about it, it just really relaxed me. It made me happy. Real happy.
I'm glad to be able to do that for you.
Yeah, it's really emotional, but I can get through this, and I'm glad we're talking today.
Yeah, I'm glad too, because I believe like a lot of people see this video and be able to take something from it. Something that they going through and see like, I could be in a better place.
Right.
You know, if they down here, they could vibrate at a higher level.
Right.
You know, be more functionable. So, you know, it's just, we at Tender Air, we believe that the moment you feel heard, you begin to heal.
Yes.
And that's why when we had our conversation and you was talking and I let you talk and get everything out, you know, and I seen the expression, the energy and everything that was there. And I seen your heart. You know, the things you went through, you still showed a pure heart. Like I said, to be concerned about the bus drivers and the passengers on the bus, their mental state.
Yeah.
And to forgive his grandmother and them for taking over the funeral process and stuff like that, and like shunning you out. To forgive them for all that. That's showing a person with a pure heart. You know, I don't know how they saw you before that, but you don't just get a pure heart overnight. That heart was always there. You know, your heart was always there. So, you know, I'm glad that you shared your story with us. What you want us to know about Manny?
I wanted to tell y'all that Manny, he was very nice. He was an average boy, growing up young, loved the girls, fat dimples, pretty smile like mine.
Okay.
And he was, first he used to be hard-headed. And again, I strictly deal with get your education first. You don't need to play games because you need your education in the future. So we try to be hard-headed, and next thing I know, I get a phone call, and he's like, Mom, I'm out of phone, I'm graduating. I said, what? He said, you come? I said, I'll be there with bells on. I got down here, and he ain't see my face. So another nickname he has is Diddle. So I had to be a fool to let him know I'm there, because he ain't getting up. He would not get up when they were standing up. He was sitting there. He just kept peeping because he was short. I said, yo, Diddle. And he stood up. And he smiled, and he was really, really a good guy. After, you know, he graduated, he wanted some things out of life, especially for his son and his daughter. He would tell me everything. We talked as much as we could. He's my man. He was my man. And that's why he got the nickname Manny. He just looked like a man, and he became a man. I'm truly appreciated to have had that short period of time.
What do you have anything to say to like the other parents out there that may be, or people that's going through a similar situation or a struggle in life?
I would like to say that they need to talk. You need somebody that's really going to talk to you and understand. And even if they don't experience the experience that you went through, they at least listening to you. And the process as far as if they could call Tender ear and get somebody on it and talk to you and let them know that it's not okay all the time. But just tell and just talk. Just talk it out because it gets better every time. The tears get a little bit lesser. The grumpiness always go away. You still got to smile because you still got to be in the social media or the community. You don't want to be crying walking down the street. But if you are going through that, please call. It's always somewhere.